If you think you're beautiful, you are beautiful.
Any women hit 30 typically and don't have double-digit body count.
Based. So you wouldn't care if your wife was whining on someone else?
Hell no, because she's gonna come right back to me. Simple.
Do you know who Lizzo is?
No, who is this?
Lizzo, I think she's beautiful though.
So if I told you you look like Lizzo, would you take it as a compliment?
Yes, I would.
Interesting. I can kind of see your psychology by the way you answer the question. And it's like you have an innate protection towards women.
Based.
Women do the best job in the world, and that is raising children which can grow up to be strong men and strong women.
Women raise bad children.
I think women are a lot more confident now, and I fucking love it. I think they're so much more confident. I think they don't really give a shit what anyone thinks now, which is so great. Do you know what I mean? I feel like back then it was more like everyone was like kind of like more like focused on what people think of them, and I think it's great. I feel like women are out there doing their thing, and I fucking love it.
Today we're going to be exploring the streets of Carnival, and my friend Christine is here.
Hey guys.
This is your first Carnival, right?
It is indeed.
So for those of you that don't know, we have an American audience. So Carnival is like the biggest festival, you would say, in London?
Yeah, it's basically just a big street party. Everyone comes out, there's drinking, there's alcohol, probably other stuff. It's just wild.
And so today we're going to be exploring intersexual dynamics and relationships in London. Do wives go to Carnival?
It's debatable.
We're going to find out. We're going to ask the people today. So make sure you like the video on your way in and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started.
I want to know, do you think Carnival is a good place to find a husband or a wife?
No, you can't
Try
find
my
a
husband, go to
Carnival.
church or something.
All the men here are trash. They're here for one reason.
They're here for one reason.
And what's that reason?
To get
Well,
wives.
why?
That's not
Blocking
loyal.
me.
Why are the women here?
To block it.
Do you think that Carnival is a good place to find a husband?
It's not at all. I really like. It's not at all. It's just a place to have fun.
Okay, is it a good place to find a wife?
No, I wouldn't. I would like to find a husband, but not here. It's just a good place to find friends.
Do you think it's okay for a woman to have a male best friend?
Of course.
So is it okay for a guy as well?
Yes, definitely. Because I've got my guys that are my best friends, and I want them to have also best friends. And when I have a partner, I want them to also have good girlfriends, you know, like best friend with girls.
I want to know, do you think Carnival is a good place to find a husband?
There are a lot of cute guys, that is for sure. Maybe not a husband, I wouldn't say so, but...
Why maybe not a husband?
I don't think the intentions of the people who come here are to get married.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And do you think that Carnival is a good place for a guy to find a wife?
A wife? Hell no.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say a wife.
Hell no.
No way.
Don't wife anyone from Carnival, you're tapped if you do that.
On Carnival if you're trying to find a wife.
I'm here trying to find love, bro.
Why is Carnival not a place to find a wife?
Cause yo, they've been dancing with everyone, man. It's not special, bro. It's just.
You're not special just because you get a wine. It's culture.
When it comes to Carnish, it's not your wife. It's not your wife. I'm telling you on my life.
Do you think Carnival is a good place to find a husband or a wife?
Oh, do you know what? I think everywhere is a good place to find a husband or wife. You could go to the coffee shop, find one, but here is a little bit more, you know, you're going to find one. He might be my husband.
Personally, maybe.
You never know, we might end up husband and wife.
Personally, I think Carnival's a better place to find a partner than like online dating
Yeah,
apps.
because you could be dancing, someone comes up to you dancing, and then bam, husband and wife straight away.
Do you think a man should find a wife at Carnival?
No.
Vice versa.
I know, you have a lot of opportunities, so why don't you why are you staying for one guy when you have so many opportunities to get?
Do you think a lot of cheating happens at Carnival?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
But you can go to Carnival and not cheat.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, some people can if they're responsible and they know.
yeah,
what
if they're
doing,
responsible and you know your partner, then it's fine.
Is whining cheating?
Yeah.
Kinda,
yeah.
It's 50-50.
It's 50-50. It's 50-50.
Can be, but then it can't.
Sometimes the girl will just come to you and start whining, like,
yeah,
we
you
can't
can't do
control
nothing.
that, but
As a girl, is whining cheating?
no.
No,
If
it
you're
is,
in the
I can't
moment,
lie, it
maybe
is,
not.
It is.
Yeah, you're just having
Why do you think it is?
Because I'm up on someone else's like a man like.
someone like comes behind
If they
you.
come behind me and
Yeah, then you're innocent.
I'm innocent. Calm, but if not and I'm doing it willingly, then yeah.
Do you think cheating happens at Carnival?
Yes.
Who more, men or women?
I think most males, because women are savage. I'm from Germany, and Germany is a little bit conservative sometimes, and I feel like UK is more open-minded. And I see the girls on Carnival, they're twerking to every kind of man, so I think it happens to more males.
That makes sense.
Resist. I wouldn't resist if I would be a man. If someone is twerking in front of me, I would be like, okay.
Okay, so is twerking cheating?
I would only consider it as cheating when the man would interacting with it, you know?
Like entertain it?
Yeah, exactly.
So what about if you're in a relationship and you're twerking on someone, are you cheating?
I wouldn't twerk at someone if I would
Why
be in a
not?
relationship, because I would be disrespectful towards my partner.
Is it just disrespect or would you say it's actual cheating?
It would be disrespect and also kind of cheating because you don't give like full attention to your husband, like to your man, and I don't know, it would be just disrespectful, and disrespectful comes also with like you wouldn't do that. It's my rules in a relationship. Everyone has a different relationship. Some people, they would find it okay, I don't know, because they have an open relationship. If I would be a man, I wouldn't like my girl to be twerking on like someone man.
Is twerking, so like whining, does that count as cheating?
I don't think so, no.
So you don't think it's cheating?
I wouldn't like it, but I don't think it counted as cheating.
It's not cheating. It's not cheating. Who's she going home with? Simple.
So you wouldn't care if your wife was whining on someone else?
Hell no, because she's gonna come right back to me. Simple.
Do you think a lot of cheating happens at Carnival?
Oh yeah, that for sure.
Men and women?
Yeah, both.
Do you think like twerking is cheating if you're twerking on a guy?
If I was in a relationship, I wouldn't do it. That's for sure.
What about if your boyfriend was having a girl twerk on him? Would that be cheating?
Oh, I would be mad at him. Well, if the girl just do it and then he goes, okay. But if he stays, nah. No.
Look for a wife. If you come in here looking for a wife, you're done out here.
Yeah, that's it.
Come here,
That's how you know there's no game. There's no game. Like you're lost.
One day of the year to come and look for a wife, you're lost.
Do you think whining is cheating?
No, because once Carnival ends at 8 p.m, everything you've done resets at midnight. They don't count.
So would you be happy if your girl was whining on someone else?
The game is the game. Resets at midnight.
If my boyfriend was at a carnival and some girl was whining on him, absolutely not me. Are you joking?
It's very sexual.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Whining unacceptable in a relationship.
Unacceptable. Okay. So in 2023, do you think modern dating has changed much? Do you think women are the same today as we were, say, 50
I think
years?
women are a lot more confident now, and I fucking love it. I think they're so much more confident. I think they don't really give a shit what anyone thinks now, which is so great. Do you know what I mean? I feel like back then it was more like everyone was like kind of like more like focused on what people think of them, and I think it's great. I feel like women are out there doing their thing, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I think there's a massive difference from like 30 years ago, but 30 years ago there was more patriarchy than there is now. There's still a massive patriarchy. But
Can you tell me where you see the patriarchy in 2023?
where I see it the same. Where I would like it less.
No, give me an example of patriarchy in 2023. What rights do men have that women don't?
Just general like walking about the street standards. I mean, obviously there's a whole discussion of like being shirtlessness. That's a whole thing going on right now. I can see both sides of that, but there's no denial in the fact that there's certain things that women can do that men can't do.
Yeah,
Like what?
They can do so much more now, and I love it. I think they can do so much more, and they just can do it. And I think no one really judges them for it now as much as they did like 30 years ago, and I think it's so great.
For example, like just what people wear to work, like an office job. Office jobs are like suits for men, and then like skirts for women. Even in that whole sense, there's always actually going back to just like in the past. There's things like body waxing and like shaving that was only put on to women. That whole ideal was just to sell razors to women, because before it's shaving for men.
Yeah.
And it's still around now.
But the idea of patriarchy implies that men have legal rights that women don't. So I want to know, what legal rights do men have that women don't in 2023?
I want to know that as well.
I think
Because feminism tells us that we live in a patriarchy and that the modern woman is oppressed by the man.
Yeah.
But I would argue that they're just identifying as oppressed. Because really, when you look at the facts, women have more rights than men. Women are more likely to get custody over children 90% of the time.
There's a child, it's like 90%, unless that woman done something horrific, that the women will get that child.
And also, when you get married, the woman gets to take half of the man's earnings. But
so there's also.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. Like footballers get married to women, and they get married to them for the P, and then when they get divorced, they get half, like fucking $50 million, whatever. Like, sorry, what the fuck have you done? Like, you just fucking sat at home watching them on telly. But like, it is true though. It is true.
Nice to meet you. It's good that social interaction. I believe that human interaction is real time on the ground, and that's positive, right? So shoulda, woulda, coulda usually didn't happen. What shouldn't happen usually does happen. Everyone has a different interpretation of the word should or shouldn't. So for example, women shouldn't, or women should. Some people believe thou shalt not, thou shalt not. It would be nice if we have like, want, need. Yeah, it would be nice if everybody felt listened to. Everybody speaks a different language and in a different way. Women do the best job in the world, and that is raising children which can grow up to be strong men and strong women.
No, women raise bad children by themselves.
My mum raised me, and I'm here on the street.
Single mothers. No, single mothers are the majority of criminal. They raise the majority of criminals. The majority of kids that run away from school. The majority of feminine men. The majority of school dropouts are from single mother homes. Single mothers are more likely to abuse their children. They're more likely to kill their children. This idea that women raise better kids than men, it's not true. They're the most likely person to kill their kids.
Bill Gates is recommending a book called Lie with Statistics. We can all do that using statistics to gain an opinion based on our argument.
We could just look anecdotally and look at the Lucy Letby who just killed like 8 babies.
There's terrible things that happen all over the world. I got to big out all the mums. Shout out to my mum, and shout out to all the mums and dads and everyone out there. You're doing a good thing by opening up interaction.
Last question. What do you rate yourself on a 1 to 10 scale?
That's a difficult question.
Objectively, so if someone else, obviously not how you feel on the inside, just outside, what do you think people would rate you?
I would say between 5 and 6.
Do you think Carnival is a good place to find a wife?
I'm a good guy and I'm here, so why not?
But you're not a wife, so would you find your wife here?
Look how they dressed. Like,
maybe I already have a girlfriend, so I'm good.
Is your girlfriend here today?
No.
Would you be happy if she was here today?
Yeah, she can have fun.
So if she was here without you, would you be happy if your girlfriend was here without you today?
Yeah, why not?
Do you think whining is cheating?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be happy if your girlfriend was whining on someone else?
Well, of course not.
I've had a lot of guys today say different things. Some guys say, hey, it's fine.
She can have fun, but for me, fun is not whining with another guy except me.
Yeah, it's cheating. Yeah, I see it like...
That's cheating, man.
Too far?
That's
too far.
Do you think men or women cheat more often?
No, I know. Do you know what? I feel like it's more women, but women are more smart with it. Men just cheat and they don't think about it. That's why they always get caught.
Yeah.
Do you think women cheat at Carnival?
Yeah. Everyone cheats at Carnival.
I think if you trust your partner, you're gonna get lit at Carnival.
Especially if the partner's not there and you're doing your own thing, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So would you say Carnival is basically just a festival for cheating?
I mean, you can't call it that.
Yeah.
Okay, I set you up for that one. What would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh wait, no, Joe, go back.
4.
Same.
4, 5.
Based.
I would say 4 as well.
She was just asking.
Is beauty subjective or objective?
So beauty depends on like everyone's person. Everyone has a different kind.
So do you think Lizzo is beautiful?
Pardon?
Do you think Lizzo is beautiful?
Lizzo?
Do you know who Lizzo is?
No, who is this?
Okay.
Lizzo. Where is this?
Lizzo, I think she's beautiful though.
So if I told you look like Lizzo, would you take it as a compliment?
Yes, I would.
So what do you rate yourself on a 1 to 10 scale?
Myself.
If you had to rate yourself in the eyes of someone else?
100. I mean, you have 100. I swear.
So you're perfect. There's no room for improvement?
There is always. Self-improvement is the most important thing.
So how can you be a 10 if you still have room for improvement?
I thought 10 is like objectively.
So you think anyone else on the street would say you were a 10 out of 10?
If it comes objectively, yes, but if it comes from the inside, there's always a lot of improvement, because I also think I have to work on a lot of things too, you know? Like from the inside. From the outside, I don't know, I like me.
So you think beauty is just down to confidence?
It is also. I mean, beauty is, everyone has a different opinion on beauty, doesn't they? So if you think you're beautiful, you are beautiful, because you go on the streets thinking you are the most beautiful person on the street, and that's the confidence. You got the walk, you got the talk. Everyone thinks you're beautiful then.
I see what you're saying, and I do think that everyone has preferences, but I just think generally as women, we kind of lie to each other about how good we look. Like, would you tell your friend if she was getting fat?
I would say, oh, why are you not going to the gym anymore?
Depends if it's unhealthy.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But I think that's a good friend.
Already, like when you.
Yes, as a good friend, I think we would have to talk, because if she was really skinny and healthy in that way, skinny is not always healthy, but if she was healthy and getting bigger,
Yeah, true friendship is about saying always the truth, but it's how you communicate the truth. Yeah, so you can communicate it in a rude kind of way and say, oh, you got fat, or you say, hey, how is your health going? What are you eating? Like, I realized
mental health as well. Sorry.
Yeah, I realized you
because
kind of
if you're good
gained
friends,
weight
you're not
during
afraid
the
to
time.
say the truth, you know, and tell her, okay, what's good for you, and if you gain some weight, you can tell her, like, without that she's getting mad or anything.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
There's always a kind of way, and especially when you are like friends or good friends, there's never like
boundary or something.
Yeah, like you would never feel attacked by the friend when you tell you
It
that.
depends on the way you say it.
Yeah, true.
Do you think any women hit 30 typically and don't have double-digit body count?
No.
All the way. Okay. I have a question. What age do you think women are the sluttiest?
Sluttiest?
Yeah, like when do women like sleep around the most? At what age? Really, at 30?
30 plus, I'm not gonna front. Yeah, you know what, 25 onwards. I think 25 onwards.
When they're trying to discover themselves and man full up their head.
Do you guys rate yourself looks-wise on a scale of 1 to 10?
Fucking beautiful, what do you mean?
10?
10 out of 10, what do you mean?
No, there's no room for improvement?
No, what do you mean? I'm black and beautiful.
I think everybody's got room for improvement.
No!
What do you think, 1 to 10?
I'm an 8.
No, I'm a 10 out of 10. I'm not putting on
I'm mad.
I'm mad. Myself down for nobody.
I have a question. What celebrity would you say also is an 8 and also is a 10?
Celebrity? I can't even say who is nice. Mine is Mary J. Blige. I love her. Mary J.
Do you think you're equally as attractive as Mary Blige?
She's like 20, above 10. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like
in her normal days, she probably look like me in her normal days.
What about you? Who's an 8?
Match myself up to no one, to be fair. I'm just me.
Why do you think it's so hard for us women to rate ourselves?
I don't. No one doesn't want to rate themselves. No one doesn't want to be. Well, for me, I don't want to be a part of a scale. I don't want to be a part of a rate. I just want to live my life. I just want to be me.
I just think it's more of like an acknowledgement that we're not perfect, right?
No, we're not perfect.
Exactly.
No one got my chest, yeah, because my mum didn't raise no fool. You understand? I'm a 10 out of 10, 100%. If no one rates me, I'll rate myself. 100%. I'll rate myself.
Okay.
Above anybody else.
I have a question. Do you feel like you were raised to be a wife?
A wife?
Yeah.
100%.
I would say I'm wife material only because I got an old soul. But who knows? Because in this day and age, no one knows nothing. But yeah, I would say I've got an old soul. So wife material, maybe so.
What did your moms teach you about being a wife?
Always respect your man. Treat him like a king. As long as he treats you like a queen. But make sure you treat him like a king.
Mum raised me to know what to do in the household. No man could tell me I can't do this, I can't do that. You understand? Because my mum raised me to hold a house. You understand? That's what it is.
So are you guys married?
No.
So if you were raised to be wives, why do you think you're not married?
Because not everyone's ready for marriage.
Okay, you think it's the men that they don't want married?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Do you know what? I feel like in this day and age, a lot of man probably finds it intimidating in some sense when a woman does have an old soul. They find it quite intimidating. They're not used to that. They're not used to
old traditional stuff.
They're not used to that much give. They're not used to all of that in this day and age. I think that's what it is.
So I have a question. If you're selling a product and nobody's buying, do we improve the product or blame the buyer? So why do women always think it's the men and never look inward?
No, it's some women as well. I'm not gonna lie. It's some women. There's some women that are not raised right. I'm not gonna big up every woman. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna big up every woman.
No, I'm just talking in general, right?
But in general, I'm 100%. I know there's women that can't do nothing. You understand? But they expect the man to bring everything to the table. But what you bring to the table?
Okay. What do you think you bring to the table?
I'm not gonna tell you that.
Is that sex? Is that a sex thing?
It's not a whole but sex thing. You know what I'm saying? When my man happy, me alright.
Christian women?
Oh yeah, they have a horrible reputation. I'm telling you, I interview hundreds of people on this.
I mean, for sure, even Christians are sinners. You know, even
Christian women have a worse reputation than regular women.
Right. But the thing is, even men, like that men have a part to play. For example, I believe it was something like more than 50% of men in the church masturbate and watch pornography. Okay. So what does that say about men? So it doesn't. It's not a case of gender. It's a case of humanity. Okay. It's a case.
You know what?
Humans.
I'll tell you the porn thing. It's so funny because we don't look at why are they watching porn. We always are immediately blaming the men, but we don't look at why. A lot of Christian women don't sleep with their husbands and they weaponize sex against their husbands. So a quarter of marriages are sexless. That's one. And then two, a lot of the men in the church are sexless because they're simps. And the women all fuck the, what do you call it? The guitar guys on stage. You know they're pulling.
Yeah, exactly. But the second point I agree with more.
What? That?
The reason why women don't want to have sex with their husbands is because they're simps, like you said. They're not the men that God wants them to be. They're not stepping into alignment.
Well, why? And the reason I think is because the church allows women to weaponize the Bible against their husband. They use a servant leader type shit where they're implying that the man needs to serve the woman. That's out of order. There's a natural order in the world. The wife does not have authority over her own body but yields it to her husband. In the same way, the husband does not have authority over his own body but yields it to his wife.
So how do you interpret that?
That the woman belongs to her husband. Yeah, she's got to sleep with him.
I mean, it's not by force, but she ought to do it.
Right. So if a guy watches because his wife won't sleep with him, why do we only talk about the we don't talk about the why? I bet they've never.
Let's go deeper into that.
When I want to hear a pastor do a whole sermon on women being bad wives for not sleeping with their husband.
I think that pastor would be pretty bad, because there's a reason why that woman doesn't want to have sex. Well, if she has a legitimate reason to not want to have sex, that's cool. But what if the man isn't even paying the bills? What if the man is not even protecting her? Why should that woman ever sleep with him? Also, if that man's not even under Jesus Christ, following Jesus' example, why would she ever do that?
Interesting. I can kind of see your psychology by the way you answer the question. And it's like you have an innate protection towards women. Because immediately when I talk about a woman doing something wrong, it's always, but what about the men?
Yeah, because your t-shirt says women shouldn't vote.
And I think this is biblical. I think the biggest problem is that the church doesn't teach the Bible anymore. And I think that's why you're seeing men walk away from church.
I agree. There are many churches that don't
This is biblical. This is trusting men's authority.
Even the church in the UK, the Anglican Church, the Church of England, they support gay marriage, which is completely away from the Bible. So I totally agree with you.
But this is biblical. It's trusting men's authority and recognizing that we're not equal.
Well, if you really look at the world right now, can we trust men's authority?
But I'll tell you, you don't know this, so I don't expect you to, but the whole world is run by women's authority.
I think you're talking about the fact that men pursue women and women.
No, I'm talking about all of society right now. Right now, we would agree it's bad. Like, families are not together. We're more promiscuous than ever, right? This is all bad. So why is it bad? It's because policies allow women to be bad and bailed out of it. We have child support, we have alimony, we have all these benefits that mostly women are on. Why are they on it? Because politicians have to cater to women to vote for it. Politicians cannot get elected without the female vote. All of the media and consumerism is all 80% of women make buying decisions with the money they get from men. So the women are getting the money off of child support, they're getting the money from the government off of benefits, and it's basically we have a society where men are slaving away for women.
Yeah, you make a good point. But the solution to this, because we can argue about it all day. I don't think that's the complete solution. I think the solution is the Bible. It's going back to biblical practices.
Okay. And do you believe women should submit to men's authority?
I believe a woman should submit to a man's authority as long as he's submitted to Jesus.
Okay, right? In marriage, right?
Right, in marriage.
So then why would we have 2 votes? Shouldn't the man decide?
It's a good point.
Right? And that's the problem. If you read the writings of the women, more women opposed voting than were for it. There are more women that said, no, we can't do this because they're trying to break down the family and they're trying to create policies that divide us rather than bring us together. And it's been 100 years. We have whores on the streets.
Crazy.
And you even saying this stuff, the Bible stuff, like it's triggering, right? If you go up to people and say that. Right?
Everybody's running away from me. Even the Christians are running away.
Correct.
Right.
And I think that the church, if they appealed to men more, I think it would be better. I think they let women get away with too much in the church. Right? And like imagine if the guys could go to church and had a pews full of virgins. Virgin feminine women. You don't think men would come? Men, think about clubs.
The church do have that though. The church do have pure women who genuinely want to. Not every church. I don't know what church you're talking about. I'm talking about a born again biblical church that follows the principles of the Bible. That's what I'm talking about.
I think if that was true, church women would have a better reputation. And this is the other problem is like church people kind of gaslight me. Yeah, no offense. I like you though. You seem open-minded. But like they'll say, oh, it's just a couple churches when this is a trend across the board.
It's not a couple of churches. It's majority of churches. It says in the Bible that many ravenous wolves will be dressed in sheep's clothing, which means that there are pastors who claim to be holy and pure, but actually they're masturbating or they're actually pedophiles in disguise. So
you know what's funny?
It's also with the gender pay gap. There's a whole like it's one of the big arguments like football. Right, there's men's football, women's football. Women's are earning a lot less, but in terms of the money that's going into it, there's a lot more for the men's side. So obviously they get paid more.
Of course, it's supply and demand, isn't it? More people go to watch men, so obviously men are going to get paid for it.
But I think the patriarchy, that whole, I think it's been taken out of context now. I think the patriarchy before is in terms of legality, but now I think just generically people are using, which is incorrect. I think they don't know the definition of it.
See, I would argue that we live in a gynarchy, which is basically the main influence is women right now. So if you look at who has the biggest voice in society is women. Women make 80% of the consumer decisions in everything. Women are the ones who have the most influence right now, whereas men, in terms of general...
It's in the relationship, don't they?
Example.
Well, women make 80 to 90% of consumer decisions. So most consumers are women.
Yeah, but if most consumers are women, then surely most women should be in charge of that because they like. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
If the majority of a percentile of people are buying a certain product, then the people in charge of that product should be.
Would you not argue that women do make most of the decisions in terms of advertising?
I don't know about advertising, so I can voice my. I've never done the research on advertising, so I can. The
way I see it is, we used to have beauty standards, right? Now, I'm not saying whether beauty standards are a right or a wrong thing. Personally, I think it doesn't really bother me. I can admit when someone's prettier than me, it doesn't hurt my feelings. However, from what I see, beauty standards have changed. So now we will have women who weigh 300 pounds on the face of Sports Illustrated magazines. That doesn't make much sense to me because I think, well, you're supposed to appeal to that market, right? And if the market is athletes, why are you putting an obese woman on the front page?
I agree with you because I feel like if it was the other way round and it was not like obviously obese people, but it was like say like really skinny people that aren't well, then it would be looked at as like that shouldn't be advertised. When if it still shouldn't be advertised because it is still, you know, if someone's really unhealthy, it's unhealthy regardless. Do you know what I mean?
So would you tell your friend if she was getting fat?
I wouldn't tell her. I would never ever make someone feel like shit and be like, by the way, you're getting fat. I would be like, what? Like, if it was getting to a point where it was very obvious and it is like things that are coming as illnesses and stuff, I would be like, look, we just sort it out. Like, you obviously do something wrong here, it's not healthy, so we're going to sort it out. I would never say you look like shit ever, but I would tell them that it's getting something where you're going to need to sort it out.
I'd be more concerned about their health.
Yeah, their
health. If it's becoming a health issue, if it's just someone, there's a whole argument with the whole like fat phobia topic. It's a huge discussion now, more than ever, because of the marketing of plus size models. I think people, their argument against it is like, oh, I should fat shame someone so they can like lose weight. But
you don't necessarily have to shame them. I think people twist the definitions. I think people say it's shaming when you could be doing what you said. You could kindly tell your friend, look, I've noticed that you're gaining a bit. Is everything okay? I think we should do something. And then people will scream fat shaming when really you're just being kind.
No.
I don't believe it's kind to let a fat person think they're beautiful.
There is definitely too much, and you cannot deny that there are people that they're people that fat shame. It is.
Of course, there's people who are going to shame everything in life, but I don't think that the world should have to cater to your feelings.
But that's the issue with
it's unhealthy, and if it's going to end up you being in hospital and getting unwell, then you need to know about it, no matter what. It could be anything, smoking too much, doing this and that.
And people always make the argument that, oh, well, if you're fat, it doesn't mean you're unhealthy. It's like, okay, right, you might not be unhealthy in this area or that area. However, if you are overweight, you are more likely to get heart disease. You are more likely to have health issues.
Well, of course.
It's not. Like, do you know what I mean?
If a doctor comes to you and says, you're overweight, you need to change your ways, then yeah. But like if you're walking down the street and if you're like just like judging someone, there's no need for it, really. You don't know.
There's no need for it, but I don't really think it's a social issue that everyone has to worry about, because I think then we create a society where everyone's kind of treading on eggshells, worrying about offending.
That's fine. I can see that argument, but there's no need for like going around, like for example Twitter, or X or whatever it is now. There's a massive thing of like seeing someone and just like calling them out for some shit. Well, like I think people forget, just because they're like a public image means you think you have a right to like say some shit about them. It doesn't really matter. If you're friends with them personally, fine. Maybe like you're a bit. I'd say I'd worry for you. I worry for like. I feel like.
I see what you're saying, and I agree. I don't think it's right to go around and abuse someone just for the sake of it. However, I do believe that if you are overweight and someone calls you fat in public, I don't really think you have a right to go complain about it on Twitter, because it's like, well, if you don't want to get people calling you fat, don't be fat.
But I don't think they should complain.
I don't think they need to like.
I agree. There's absolutely no need for it, but I also think there's no need for the complaining either.
I've always said, like, if you're not hurting anyone, do your fucking thing. Like, do your thing. If you're not hurting anyone, do your thing. If you're happy, stay happy. If you're hurting someone, whatever, then there's something to complain about. But I don't think there's any need. If you see someone that's maybe a bit overweight on the street, no need to be like, hey, you look like crap. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just no need at all. Someone can be someone's complete different type, and they just be like, by the way, you're really ugly. Like, there's no point. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is the point in that? Do you know what I mean, though?
So I just wasn't listening to you.
Oh,
Sorry.
great.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for your time.
Do you know what's funny? You automatically go to the male sin and not the female sin. You know what's it's okay. It's okay. This is the whole society's built this way, so it's super normal. But I'll give you an example, right? We don't talk about women. Why do we have women preaching?
There's nothing wrong with a woman preaching.
There is. Women aren't supposed to lead. Like, women aren't supposed to interpret the Bible.
Who said that?
The Bible. I can't remember the exact verse.
Someone give me the verse. I know the verse you're talking about.
Yeah, but you know what I.
It's important to know things in context. Know the times that we live in.
Well,
women are educated. Women are able to actually lead now.
Okay.
So
I think that education makes us dumber.
I mean,
come on. We go to college and become whores.
Yeah, I mean, you have a point to a certain degree. But I wouldn't advise anybody to not go to college. If that's what you're saying. Are you saying people shouldn't go to college?
Oh yeah.
You're saying
shouldn't. Okay, I'll give you an example. Didn't they say be fruitful and multiply?
Right.
And when women go to college, we have less children. That's and it's teaching us to be selfish and think of our career instead of submitting to our husband and think of his.
I think you're making very oversimplified solutions to a very complex problem. I think that if you're going to give a simple solution, I think the simple solution is to turn away from sin. I think that's the easiest solution because,
Wouldn't turning away from sin mean... I do not permit a woman to teach or assume authority over a man. She must be quiet.
Yeah, 1 Timothy. I think that's, again, down to context, the times that they were living in, because women are more than capable to lead and to teach.
Okay, should the church adapt to the culture?
No.
Then why would we adapt to the culture just because women are educated now?
That's a good question. You got me on that, and maybe I could come back when I have the answer.
No, once you see this stuff, I'm telling you, you can't unsee it. The reason people are leaving church is because they only demonize male sin and they don't demonize female sin. The women are getting away with too much.
In my church, we don't. Women don't get away with it.
I really doubt it, and I'll tell you why. Because even when I'm talking to you, you're a product of your church, and you only are demonizing male sin in this conversation. And you can't even objectively say men should demand virginity to marry.
Do you know why I often criticize the men is because men are meant to be leaders. And if the leader is not leading the way he ought to be, then how do you expect the women to follow in the right way? So this is why I hold, as a man, I hold my men responsible. That's why I speak the way I speak.
Can you have someone follow that doesn't want to be led?
No, you can't.
Okay, so we'd agree then it's equal.
Well, depending on the person.
And even in society, men can't lead because the woman always has less to lose. The man always has more. And there's a lot of policies in place
I don't agree with that. Women have more to lose than men.
Okay. Who gets the kids after divorce?
Okay, who gets the kids? The woman, but
Who loses all their money after divorce?
Yeah, the man.
Who loses their house after a divorce?
Okay, the man.
Okay.
Okay, but my point is the reason why the women have more to lose is because once a woman marries a man and sleeps with him, she now has to take care of that child. She can move on and have a new husband, but at the end of the day, she still has that child who she's always going to be responsible for. And a woman can only give birth until the age of, 45? So...
It's not that high. It's like 40.
First, 4.
40 is generous.
Right.
Especially these days.
So that's why a man can just move on. A man can literally disappear and start a whole new life.
Do you think most men don't want to be with their children? Women weaponize the court system so men can't see their kids. This idea that even the idea that you're putting that as a privilege for the woman when really that's a disadvantage for the man. She gets to be with her kids. He doesn't get to be with his kids.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And so I really think the issue is even the church doesn't give the men authority in their households. They'll say, oh, if she's not following, he's not leading right. Right? He's not following God. They'll always, if he's watching porn, it's his fault. He's sinning, and they never ask what she's doing. And it just allows us to get away with too much, and then we have a bad reputation. And I think it's because the men aren't going through and policing us the way they're supposed to.
Well, it says, you say a lot of things that are true. Like, I will give it to you. But it says in the Bible that when a man marries a woman, that they now become one flesh. So that means they should walk in accordance with the Lord, and they should be one-to-one. So I think that alignment with God is the most important thing, regardless.
And I agree with you, but you only get in that alignment when the woman listens to her husband. What was the sin in the Garden of Eden? He listened to his wife. That was that started everything. Eve was in the garden and she wasn't happy. She had everything. She had to go get her apple, and that's what we see today. All these women have everything. They're not happy. They go get their apple, and then their husband listens to them. And until we really, really go down in the churches saying, appealing to men and giving men authority, I just think we're never going to rebuild families, and we're never really going to have any progress until the churches actually start actively campaigning towards men. There's so many single women's ministry. There's never single men's ministry.
I'll rebuke that because we shouldn't give men authority. Men should take authority.
Okay, I would agree with that.
Right, so if we start giving out authority, we're going to give it out to mad men.
Taking it away from the women.
I mean, put it like that if you want to, but...
to get them out of the teaching. Can we agree? We gotta, women stop teaching.
No, I don't agree.
I gave you the Bible.
I don't agree.
Oh, come on. The women, do you know how bad of a reputations women's Bible leaders have, that lead those women's groups? They have the worst reputation. The worst. I'm telling you. I have Christian guys actively say, do not date those women. That's who's leading the young women. It's like the blind leading the blind.
Okay.
the men aren't blind. They get their authority from God. We have to get our authority from men.
Okay.
So why do we convolute it in the church?
I don't think we do completely.
Well, when women are teaching,
it brings it back to that point. It depends on the church.
When women are teaching, we do, which you advocated for. Remember?
I think women who are capable of teaching, I think they ought to teach.
I think no women are capable.
Do you think children are able to teach?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You think if a child knows the gospel better than me, do you think he ought to teach me?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know the Bible, but this child knows the Bible, and he's able to speak life into my life. You say I should turn my face and go the other way?
I think you should go to an older man.
Yeah, true, but if I have the opportunity, you don't think I should take it to learn?
No, I think you should learn from the older man.
Okay, I disagree because I think we should learn from as much.
A 5-year-old?
No, obviously a 5-year-old is not even able to speak.
But you know, a 7-year-old?
Nah, because the 7-year-old can't even speak.
You only start to take the kid seriously when he's almost a man.
13.
Yeah. So it's and in certain cultures and time periods, that would have been considered an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, at some points, they were going to war and fighting and shit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we do that, but this was a good talk. Anything else you want to say?
Repent and believe in the gospel. Yeah.
And women shouldn't teach.
No, I don't want to. I'm not.
And women
I'm not advertising that either.
And men should marry virgins.
I'm not advertising that either.
Well, nice to meet you. Yeah, agree to disagree. Yeah, nice to